So guys, we did it! The AfD has reached unthinkable heights. In Brandenburg, they have secured 22.5% of the vote, although the SPD is much stronger than expected. Both the CDU and the left are extremely weakened, much weaker than thought. I think the left party was polling more on 15%, whilst the SPD was previously polling also at 22% like the AfD. This would be the best result. This would be better than any polls had put them. The Greens much weaker than expected, and Borussia Dortmund is now in this Landtag, considering this one exit poll. It's early days, but probably not big changes are probably not expected anymore. When we look at the seats, this would result in a red-red-green coalition majority at the moment, with the AfD being the main opposition force with 23 seats. Very impressive. The BVB, Free Voters, with 5 seats now, which would be good for them. I mean, they are kind of a center-right kind of conservative Christian value kind of party. And then when we look at Saxony, we have an incredible result. The CDU has managed to do its recovery at 32%, but the AfD has grown to 27.5%, absorbing a lot from the left party, and apparently also the SPD. The Greens only had 9% in this poll, absolutely way below things that they were predicted to get. They were predicted in some polls to get 16% here. So things have dramatically changed from that. Absolutely record-breaking result for the AfD, and this would be the worst result for the SPD ever. Of course, it would have been nicer if they had been thrown out of the Landtag in total, but you can't have everything. And then when we look at the seats, this would result in 38 seats for the AfD. Now they can only get 30 from the list, but I'm sure that they will get 8 directly elected members of parliament or the Landtag. They should be able to secure 8 at least, if not more. So that's good. The CDU at 46, and all the left parties here would have less seats together than the AfD, which is, quite frankly, hilarious. This would most likely result in a CDU, Green, and SPD coalition agreement, which is kind of a broad center-left kind of arrangement, although it's pretty far left, to be honest. Now, let's look at a few other things here in Brandenburg. When we look at the age groups, the over 60s, ridiculously in favor of the SPD. Those are tradition voters, basically, I would assume. People who have voted like this their entire life, who are still very much fans of the German Democratic Republic, and therefore vote Social Democrat because they've always done that, kind of been in that position. And then we have the 33 to 44-year-olds, where the AfD absolutely smashed everyone else at 31% here in Brandenburg, much ahead of all others. Incredible stuff here. And in the 45 to 59-year-olds, it's also pretty nice, with the AfD at 29%. Definitely the first place there. Pretty strong, pretty impressive. It would be that the AfD is ahead of the SPD everywhere in Brandenburg, except with the really old people, and they make up a big chunk of the electorate, and this is why the SPD inched out above the AfD so much. Just saying, in a few years those results will look very differently. Now with the very young people, the AfD has still secured 22%, which kind of makes you think why they overall did so poorly at 22.5 only, but that is pretty impressive. That's very strong. I mean, the Greens still above that, but that is very strong for these young demographics where they usually perform very badly. And then we look to Saxony. Here the AfD with the over 6-year-olds performs better, but the CDU, again, people who have always voted this way in their lives, so they're going to continue doing it, 43%. And then the AfD really strong at 32%, the CDU at 33% with the 45 to 59-year-olds. The other parties all stay very weak. With the 34 to 44-year-olds, the AfD first with 31%, pretty strong stuff. And also with the youth, this is the first time that the AfD is ahead in the youth vote. Of course, not as strong as overall they have in the entire land, but it's very strong. That's very strong considering this demographic usually never votes for the AfD. Very, very nice stuff. Additionally to that, the National Democrats, the fascist Nazi party, are going out with 2%. I wish they hadn't stood, because those 2% could have gone directly into the AfD. The Free Voters don't manage to get in. And here we have some very interesting thing. We can see the AfD overall at 23%. I think this is Brandenburg, yeah. And then here in regions where the coal industry is big, they are at 29%, and in border regions they're at 26%. And in regions where the demographic is going down, where people are immigrating a lot, they're at 27%. So really, really strong in those areas, which kind of shows you what voters they speak to, the people who were left behind by traditional politics. Here we can see also the Linke. Horrible result in Saxony, the worst they've had since 1990, when they were still the SED. Then the best result for the AfD, of course, but that's the second election ever there. Die Linke also in Brandenburg, their worst result ever, here with 11%. The Greens, their best result ever, but not much stronger than in 1990. Then we have here in Brandenburg also the CDU, their weakest ever, 15.5% only voting for the CDU in this country is incredible. The AfD again really, really strong, and the CDU also in Saxony, not at their weakest ever, but not very strong either. I mean, the last time they were anywhere near this weak was in 1946, which kind of shows you. Yeah, these are all the things that are out here at the moment. Saxony, the Greens at 9%, best ever, but only 3% over last time. I mean, that's nothing really. The Green surge did not happen. So that turnout in the cities, I predicted correctly, benefited the AfD and not the Greens. So, we've gone over everything. Something new has just come in. Breaking news. Brandenburg at 52% counted. The minor parties have actually the Tierschutzpartei, the Animal Protection Party, very strong at 2.3%. That is unexpected. I wouldn't have seen them that strong. They are, of course, a very big surprise here. Yeah, very, very interesting. Well, I'll see you later if anything big changes, and maybe when election results come out, things will be completely different and I'll have to reshoot this entire video. Anyways, I'll see you later. Goodbye.